I trained many years ago, of course, in London at what is now City University, and started my working life in Manchester, and then in the 70s moved into the northeast, and firstly as a contact lens practitioner, solely doing contact lenses, moving around from place to place, fitting contact lenses, because in those days, of course, most of the opticians, as they were, didn't know anything about contact lenses, and so they couldn't fit them. So we used to go into the practices and fit the patients for them, and go back every so often and do rechecks and make sure everything was working properly. One or two of our friends that we met when we came to the village said, why don't you start a business here? There are so many elderly people in Corbridge, and it would seem to be a good idea to give them somewhere to go, then they don't have to trail through to Hexham. We had a place in Gateshead for many years, since we first came to the northeast, which was in 1971, and a very successful practice there, and it seemed fitting at that time, when having moved here, that as we got older it might be nice to be able to work within easy distance of our house, and so we decided to start here, and we approached the existing man who was just about retiring, and we bought some records from him and started up that way. And to begin with, we were in an old barber shop in the village, and then in about I think it was about 1979 when we moved across here, and this place, which was an antique shop up until that time, and of course to begin with it was very quiet, and gradually we've improved the practice. We've had several changes of layout, and we bought new equipment, and we try to keep up to date with modern equipment, so that we can give people the best possible eye examination and have a good selection of frames, so that they're able to choose something that they really like. Most of our patients come via word of mouth, and they come in and we make an appointment for them, and then they have an eye examination, and we decide, and they decide whether they want to go any further, they want to have some contact lenses or spectacles, and we decide. We've got qualified dispensing opticians. We decide amongst ourselves what route to take, and of course we tend to be, there are a lot of older people here and local people who, for one reason or another, would prefer to stay within the village, so that if they have any problems they can slip down and we can sort them out for them.
Right, the first appointments we have now are a week on Friday, if that's any good for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that alright? Do you prefer morning or afternoon?
Morning.
In the morning. I've got a choice of 9:30 or 11.
If they need spectacles, then they are offered. We give them a prescription, and they can either decide what they'd like to do. They can go elsewhere if they like, or they can have a look at our frames and decide what they want to do, and the dispensing optician will take the necessary measurements and give them a ring when the spectacles are ready. They then go off to the workshop, and the lenses are made up, and lenses are ordered in, made up. We don't have our own workshop here, as you can see, but we feel that that's more of a specialist business, and we'd rather people perhaps wait a little bit longer and get something that they really want, and get the lenses made, custom made. And after all, most people would have a spare pair anyway, so we feel the most important thing is to get the spectacles right in the first place and make sure that everything's working as it should be. We can get them really quickly if necessary. We can get them within a few hours if it's really urgent, but in the main we'd rather take a little bit longer and get them made as well as we can. My job firstly is to make sure that the vision is comfortable, but not only that, is to have a look at the eyes and make sure that at the back of the eye, which is an important site of examination, because you can see the blood vessels and you can see whether there are any problems there, whether if any of them are under pressure, or if there are any signs of any general conditions which might mean referral to the general practitioner for further investigation. We have a camera which we can take a picture of the retina, and then we can store that in our computer so that we have a record for future years when they come back. Yes, it's changed enormously with the advent of computers, of course. As you've probably seen, our eye screen, our testing screen, is no longer a box on the wall, but it's computer driven. So we're able to change our letters so people don't say I'm learning the letters. Lots of different charts, and charts for children as well, pictures and stuff. And it does make life a lot simpler, really.